Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts Lee Silber and Ellen Goodwin. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away to make your life faster, easier, and better. And here's your hosts, Lee and Ellen.
Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. I'm your co-host, Ellen Goodwin, with my co-host.
Hi, Lee here.
Hi, Lee. Hey, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I always think we talk a lot about, the big picture things, which as both of us are designers, and I would always tell people, look, if you know the basics of design, no matter what software you use, you can still do things. I mean, it's more important to learn the underlying
Right.
rules.
Yeah.
And then you apply those rules as things change, right? I mean,
Exactly.
as technology changes, you still know the basics of what good design is. And it's true with efficiency and time management. Once you know the actual rules of how they work, then you can apply them with the technology that comes out. And so that's why I thought today we should talk about apps, because we've talked a lot about, the underlying rules of how to be more efficient, but specifics, I think people, okay, I don't want to do all this. Just tell me what app to buy. What app is going to fix my life, and I'll buy it, and it'll work, and I won't have any more problems. That's why we're here.
Okay, so we're going to talk about apps today. Do you have a favorite app that you use for being efficient?
Now, here's a good point. I'm glad I know we didn't plan this, but that's the perfect question to ask me, because in time management, in efficiency, and just in modern life, there's a push and a pull. So the push is things are being pushed on you, meaning
Right.
you see all these possibilities, but you should only pull the things that work for you. Where am I trying to go? What am I trying to accomplish? Who am I? What do I need? And then find the app that does that for you. So instead of having people push a bunch of things on you, which is overwhelming, you pull the app that you need. So to say what app would work for me might not work for somebody else. So I'm going to just defer to you because I know you've got a lot of good ideas about which specific apps. But that alone, that's an underlying rule. The push and pull.
Right.
Things are pushed at you, pull what you need.
Exactly. And we're not pushing them. These are just ones that we know really work well. My first favorite one, and I've talked about it before, is Seconds. And it's a free app, and you can use it for Macs, you can use it for Android. Seconds allows you to set up timers. I use it to set up timers so I can work for 10 minutes and then I take a 2-minute break, or I can work for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. You can set up all sorts of different timing rounds. I actually even use it to work out now, where I set up 30 rounds of 1 minute and I work out for 30 seconds and take a break 30 seconds. So Seconds is my favorite timing app.
You would think that it's your second favorite, but okay.
It's my first. I don't think
Seconds
there
is your
is one.
first favorite. Got it.
Seconds is my first. Yeah. Do you want to jump in with one?
Well, I would add that a lot of times we're always looking for the next thing. What's the next great thing? What's the next shiny
Right.
object that I need to
Oh,
be
God.
focused on? When, depending on whether you use an Android or an iPhone or a Google, whatever you have,
Right.
most people, and that's probably not you out listening because you're better than most people, but most people do not maximize the apps they already have.
That's true.
I was looking for a level, and my neighbor said, "Hey, man, your phone is a level." He said, "The actual compass doubles as a level." I'm like, "You're kidding me. I didn't know that." We very rarely take the time. We don't get a manual with our phones anymore. So it's up to
Right.
us to find, the uses of all the apps. So I would say make sure you're maximizing the apps. Again, the apps that work
Uh-huh.
for things you need help with. Those are the apps that are probably, some of them are already on your phone. Maximize those. We talked about how to use your camera in a lot of different ways in
Right.
past episodes, but getting the most out of your existing apps, and then again, pulling a couple of other apps that you don't have already that you need to add.
Right. Because on your phone, you can always record voice messages for yourself so you don't forget things. You can talk into your notes section and make your grocery list. You can use, there's pages where I used it to dictate a book, because after you dictate it in, it transcribes it and then you can email it and there's no typing. So I'm totally with you on that. That's great.
I'm glad.
Yeah, well, I should be. Let me go with a couple other ones that I really like. If you have problems, quote unquote problems with Facebook, like let's say you're jumping onto Facebook and then you're not jumping out. One of the apps that's great is called Groups, because if you're in a lot of groups, you can just go to that and it will only allow you to go to your group. So you're not looking at your feed anymore. On that same note, on your desktop, I put Chrome on, and now when I open up Facebook, I also have Feed Killer. Feed Killer means there's no feed. I can go to my groups, my pages, but I can't see, oh, Lee was out playing baseball with his boys. I can't like it, I can't see it. So, what you can't see, you can't get distracted by.
So that's why you never like any of my
That's
posts?
exactly why I don't
Ugh,
like any of your posts. I
ugh.
never see them. Another favorite app is LastPass. Do you use that?
I've heard of it, but no, I have not ventured into it.
So
But I will
LastPass,
now that you've
now
told me
you
about it.
should, because
And seconds.
how many times, and this happens to me every day, but you go to log into some place that one of your favorite sites, or I use it, let's say, for sending email. I go to my site and it asks for my password,
Oh,
and I'm like, I don't know my password.
I do.
I know. So LastPass allows you to keep track of all of your passwords, and you don't have to remember each one because they have it, and it works great. Let's say I'm working with someone and I need them to get into a website, again, like sending out email. I need someone that's not me to get in there to do something. I just give them a LastPass access, and they give them a code that works once.
Hmm.
Super easy, super secure. So LastPass, it stops me from having to go, what's my password? And then I have to go, send me a new password. So LastPass works great for spending, allowing me to save time.
That is one I'm absolutely going to look into.
Definitely.
And
Okay.
seconds.
And seconds.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. I've learned a lot from you today.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm sure we'll have more apps in an upcoming episode. So have a fantastic week. Look for the apps. All of the URLs will be in the show notes. And we look forward to hanging out with you again next week.